guys, welcome along. Richie here from the Heritage Group. So today it's a rather overcast, rainy Sunday, and as we all know, Milsim players do not play in the rain. We don't like to get our kit wet or dirty, so I thought I'd take the time to do a quick video, run over some of the differences and the basics between a single comm setup and a dual comm setup. I had a lot of questions, absolutely ton of questions about various setups, single radios, two radios, dual PTTs, listening to different channels, different nets, whether that's be on a skirmish field or at a Milsim. So what I want to do, guys, is run through my single comm setup that I run here. I use this for skirmishes and Milsims alike. Then I'll bounce over and show you my dual comm setup. So although I use the TRI early gen 152s, the kind of basic principles on this video will apply to Baofengs as well. As we both know, they're basically the TRI 152s, are basically a Baofeng in a larger, more Guccier box. So pros then of running a single comm setup as opposed to a dual comm setup. Generally, overall, the equipment is a lot sleeker. You've not got as many cables, aerials, etc. You haven't got so much ancillary equipment to run and get in the way. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and dive into what I've got here and the reasons why I've got it, how I've got it. So as I say, starting off with the radio itself, this is a TRI 152 early gen, so plastic body. I think it's like a maximum of 5 watt output, which is what you're allowed to have here in the UK. I won't go into frequencies or channels, anything like that, because the ham radio community will lose their absolute mind. So coming out of the top of the radio here then, we have a standard NATO 6-pin plug. I had this kicking about off of an old telephone handset that I cut up. The reason I want this plug was to run with this custom PTT here. So this is an old Z-Tac PTT. The cable down lead, as with most China stuff, broke within 3 weeks. So cut the internals up, use the fly lead, like I said, off of an old real steel handset, and I managed to change the plug internally to a LEMO connector. So the reason why I retrofitted the PTT with the LEMO connector is because since about 2012, 2013, like a lot of people, I've been running the Raycal Frontier in-ear protection system. Obviously, this allows for communications and hearing protection. So as you can see, we'll go ahead and plug this in. The lead comes down, nicely tucked behind the webbing, all nicely routed, and back up to your Raycal Frontier in-ear system. So on the side of the Raycal Frontier box, you have 2 buttons on off. This will just allow you to turn on or off the ambient listening function. So I've just spun the plate carrier around so you guys can see the back of it, how I route the cables. Coming through here, down, again, looped under your carry handle here with these nice little clips that the Raycal system comes with, up and over my right shoulder. So, you know, being tucked behind here, this will stop any sort of snagging on any sort of sling, backpack, etc. Should just slide over that quite nicely. So as you come over the right shoulder on the front of the plate carrier, you actually have your in-ear sections here. Now, these actually have the parts that go into your ear with a little foam bud. I like to use the Surefire EP7s. They have this real nice sort of moulded section that sits actually inside your ear there. Keep it all nice and firm and tight and not going to move anywhere, down to your nice real soft foam earbuds that you compress, push in your ear, hold, and then expand to obviously stop any loud ambient noise getting in. So just want to give you guys a bit of a closer look as to how this setup goes. As with any comm setup, cable management is absolutely paramount. You know, you shouldn't have any tight kinks, any sort of big sort of right angles that may, you know, sort of break a cable internally. So starting at the radio end again, as we did before, 6-pin NATO plug, nice big loose loop on that there, coming round, back up. Obviously you can use carabiners, etc., just to tidy cables away. I have done that before. Coming back up here behind the spirited system into the PTT. Likewise, coming out of the PTT back down, using this nice clip again against the webbing here, keep it all in place. As you can see, I try to leave as much loop in that as possible, no real sort of tight bends. Back through another one of these clips, through the spirited system there, to your Raycal box. Apologies for the weird angle, guys. I know it looks and feels as if you're on the floor, but it's the only way I can show you my setup and how it works for me. So regarding single comm and dual comm, it is possible to do it through one radio, as I have here. I'm just going to show you guys how I've tried to make that as easy as possible for myself right now. If I'm transmitting to and from my squad net with my teammates, and you know, the TL, the team leader, asks me to send a comm, you know, back to command, it's as easy as this. I'll go ahead, untuck the aerial, I'll grab my little buckle here, unclip that. What I'll do then is I'll let this strap just drop down, and then this whole radio pouch just drops down. What I can do then, I have full line of sight to my screen here, so I can see both frequencies, both command and squad, and which one the little arrow is on. So just by unlocking the radio, like so, clicking the enter button, I can go ahead and jump from squad net to command net, or vice versa. I can then go ahead, send the comm that I need to. Once I'm done, just one pull, one-handed operation, that'll come back up, clip in like so, ratchet that down nice and tight so the radio can't go anywhere. Me personally, I would go and tuck that antenna away, out the way, and then move off. So the great thing about this setup is I haven't got two great big radios in the way. It's a pretty sleek setup as far as a 152 can be sleek. Radio, Raycal, PTT, all the cables are stowed nicely. I can run single channel, 2 channels, you know, as you've seen, guys, pretty much with ease. So there we go, guys. That's the single radio, single comm route covered. Even though you can do dual channel capabilities with that, as I've just shown with ease, this really is a different beast altogether. So this is obviously my dual radio, dual comm setup for RO specifically. Now, when people are talking about being an RO or a radio operator within a team, you really need to resign yourself to the fact that you're not going to be at the front, you're not going to be door kicking, you're not going to be, you know, putting tons and tons of rounds down. Your job and where you're needed most is at the back of the stack, putting good communications between your TL and the command structure. That is really where you're needed the most. So that in mind, you really need to think about your equipment, how you're going to set it up, how it's going to be used to its most maximum potential. So let's go ahead and take a look at my setup here, guys. As with anything on the channel, although this works for me, it may not work for you. So as you can see, guys, I have 2 TRI 152s here and here. They're both early gen, but both work absolutely fine. Antennas then, I decided to run a relocation style on both of these radios, get them out of my face and onto the rear of the plate carrier, which I will show you shortly. But we have one here and one on a 90-degree connector here. Coming down to the heart of the whole setup then, we have the RTHG PTT from JCI Comms. This thing really is all singing, all dancing. So this has dual pressure switches, one on this side and one on this side. Again, nice and simple, nothing too complicated. This pressure switch for this radio, this pressure switch for this radio. So it's a real easy indicator when you get to the PTT here. You know that the one closest to this radio is going to be for this one, and the one closest to this radio is going to be this one. So headset connections then, as you can see, I've got no Raycal set up on here at the moment. I just want to take everything off and show you guys from absolute standard. Now the great thing about this RTHG PTT here, you have a LEMO connector in the top. So if you wanted to run a Raycal Frontier system, as I showed you in the single comm setup, you can do. You just plug it into the top of the PTT here, and then I normally have my, again, Raycal Frontier system just sitting on here. Coming out of the bottom then of the RTHG PTT from JCI Comms, I have this TP120 connector. This just allows me to, you know, if I didn't want to wear in-ear comms like the Raycal Frontier, I just take my over-ear headset like so, and then this will just simply plug straight into there. So you have multiple options for headsets. You don't just have to stick to one. But for me, the pièce de la résistance on the RTHG PTT is here. We have this nice armoured 3.5mm auxiliary cable. Again, with a real nice loop on it coming up here. I've got quite a bit of leftover cable just tucked away in here. Everyone loves a bit of excess. You know, should I wish to run this towards the back for whatever reason, I can do. But this auxiliary armoured cable is just terminated in another 3.5mm jack just there. And what I've done, I've just used a cheap little eBay Bluetooth transmitter just here. So what I can do, tuck this in here like so, connect this via Bluetooth to my smartphone, and that will allow me to listen to music and make phone calls via either of these headset connections, whichever one you so wish, which for me is probably the best bit out of the whole setup. So as you can see, guys, I've just spun the plate carrier around as I did in the first video, just to show you the rear of this plate carrier and how I've got the antenna system set up. As you can see, I like to keep the back panel pretty flush, so whether you're working from a vehicle or whether you wish to run a backpack, keeps that nice and clear, not too clustered. Regarding the antenna systems themselves then, these are made by Disco 32, quite possibly the pinnacle in military and airsoft antenna equipment today. If you need more information regarding these antenna systems, hit up Studio 54. He is the UK and Europe distributor and all-round cool guy. So starting off on the left-hand side here, this is the Disco 32 antenna relocation cable in Coty Brown. Comes in many colours. But at the radio itself then, we have a nice 90-degree connector, so you're not going to have anything sticking out that's going to break off under load. So I like to run this cable through my side plate bag here, as you can see just coming out there, and again through the molly to stop any snagging. Coming down to the antenna itself then, this is again a standard rubberized TRI that comes with the radio. I'm just utilising there. It terminates in a nice 90-degree quick release connector. You can just undo that nice and easy. Again, just to keep this all in place, we have the Raptor Tactical antenna relocation pouch. Absolutely superb piece of kit this. Moving over to the radio on the right hand side, again we have the Disco 32 VMAS, the vest mounted antenna system. If you don't wish to have a second relocation cable and a secondary antenna here, which I know some guys like to do, this is quite possibly the most low profile way to mount any antenna on your kit. As you can see, super thin cable, capable of running pretty much through anywhere, through your shoulder straps and through the molly here on the back of the plate carrier, with plenty of room. If you still wanted to thread molly through here and run pouches, absolutely still possible. Available in different colours. This is in snakeskin, which I think is pretty cool. But again, you can weave this through your plate carrier, you know, through your shoulder straps, through the side here, pretty much wherever you need to go, and that is super low profile. So there you go, guys. That is the dual radio, dual comm setup that I've got here. Now, as I showed you before, the antennas are remote mounted, super low profile. You barely even know you're wearing them. If you do wish to run them up front, you can do, but obviously you've got two radios up front as is. So radio wise, I've got these mounted up front. I kind of like to run these here just through because of any teething problems. You know, if you need to change frequency, check a connection, make sure your PTT is working. You haven't got to have your friend or buddy messing around with the volume on the back of your plate carrier. It's all up front here when it needs to be. So there we have it. That is my single comm and dual comm setup alike that I use for Milsims and skirmishes. Any questions, any comments, any questions regarding anything you've seen in the video today, please leave in the box below. Hit like, subscribe, that'd be awesome. Also, don't forget to hit the little bell icon just so you can get notifications from myself and Tim. Till next time, guys, I'll see you soon.